Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Guild Wars 1 Let's Play. Last episode, we finished the Tanakai Temple mission. Little rat. He got cute. Anyway, so we're here, Zoo Canoe Quarter. This dark, humid, and smelly quarter may not look like much, but lead followers deep into the sewers to Tanakai Temple. Some of the city's more unsavory guilds have been known to assign thugs this quarter who lie in ambush waiting for passers-by to the temple. So this Emperor's Voice guy is here for us. Emperor Kasu wishes to speak to you. When he received word that Shiro was within the city walls, he ordered the Imperial Army to surround the area. He's in the temple now, seeking counsel from the spirits in Scone there, and he awaits your arrival. So the Emperor wants to talk to us. I also have made some slight modifications to build. Give us a little bit more survivability after our last episode. But I want to show this off real quick before we actually go in there. This is so there are these outposts that are essentially like you can go from them to into the elite realms, the underworld and the Fissure of Woe, which I still haven't finished that Fissure of Woe video yet, which I really should because I already have it recorded. But this is one of like the special temples where you can do that. And it's the one no one ever used really, because this one is much harder to get to than the one in Prophecies. I don't think I ever showed it off, but we'll see it whenever we get to the War in Kryta. But no one ever actually uses this one, really. But there's all these cool statues of the gods, and you can see the Tanaki Temple in there. Yeah, pretty lit. Kind of cool. Something different. But I just think... Yeah, this place never got much love. The other two ones, whenever people would form groups, they almost always would form groups in the... Prophecies one, because it's just the easiest to get to, and the Nightfall one had some other uses, so people were in that outpost for other reasons. But yeah, this one never really got some use. But anyway, let's not keep the Emperor waiting. It probably got used whenever it was like current content, but even back then it was probably easier for people to meet in the other place. So these temple guardians, they're friendly now. The good boys. The good boys. Here's the Emperor. Can't the Empire has seen dark times before, but I fear that Shiro brings a darkness no light can penetrate. Shiro's purpose here was to bind these heroic spirits into magical constructs and bend them to his will. If he had been successful, he would have undoubtedly become much more powerful. Once again, young hero, the Empire finds itself in your debt. I have spoken with Vizu and learned much from her. I believe I can help you gain access to the artifacts which she spoke. Count Petrov Zuhelster of the Kurzicks sent his people here to begin arbitrating annual terms of war between the people and his people and the Luxons. I will attend to that. While you do, you will take the opportunity to speak with his daughter, who is traveling with them. If she were made to understand the importance of our mission, I believe she would persuade her father to help us. Find my tenant, the one known as Emperor's Voice, and he will give you further instructions. Alright, so we're going back to talk to the Emperor's Voice again. So yeah, again, the Kurzicks and the Luxons, they're essentially the two other powers on the nation. I guess there's kind of four if you count the Xingje Monastery. So there's like the Xingje Monastery people, the city, which is like the main Canthan Empire, although the people in Xingje are under the Canthan Empire. And then there's these two side nations, the Kurzicks down here in the Echovald Forest, and the Luxons over here in the Jade Sea. And they're constantly at war with each other. And that's kind of like the basis for a lot of the story and the end game in this game is the war between these two sides. But these are some of my favorite locales in all of gaming. Once we get to their areas, they're pretty sweet. But anyway, the Emperor is a very wise man. You should take his advice and seek out Danica. It sounds like she might become a very valuable ally in the future. Well, we've learned of a growing movement among the Kurzik youth that might prove helpful to our cause. It seems that they've been stirred by recent events, having grown tired of watching the world pass them by from the comfort and protection of their grand towers. The Empire wishes you to speak with Danica Zuheltzer, Count Zuheltzer's daughter. She may be more prone to help us gain the Urn of St. Victor than her elders. Seek her out near Suzheng district. Menlo will accompany you to the Kurzik territory. It's Master Toga's hope that he'll be able to call in some favors since he gave the Zuheltzer some assistance many years ago while he was a student in the monastery. I'll speak with her. I have no time to speak with disgruntled, spoiled youths. See, some of them are clever. Some of the dialogues are clever. I think We're slowly approaching max level on everybody. Yeah, we're slowly approaching max level on everybody, which is great. Anyway, here's Menlo. So Menlo has apparently spent some time with the Kurzicks, so he should be able to help us talk to them. Looks like this is another Ampha mainly area. This area is pretty cool. It's got a lot of like overhanging areas. Pretty schnifty. Oh, somebody's leveled up. Yeah, just got knocked down. There's like one of those big pipes coming up from the upper city. That's cool. That overhang there. The city on top of it. There. I'm so sorry you had to see that. It'll be okay now, I promise, hon. They were sick. They tried to eat me. Yes, I know. They were very, very sick. Themselves, they would never harm you otherwise. But it's all over now. They're at peace. Mommy, shh, don't worry. I'll send someone to look after you. My father will send food and medicine. Everything will be alright. You'll see. There. Jeez, so... her parents tried to eat her or something, it looks like. Because they were afflicted. Which is weird, because we never hear about the affliction like them trying to eat people, but I guess that's what they try to do. I'm no longer content to remain in the protective confines of my society. My people think that to keep evil at bay by reading signs and portents, performing rituals, and blindly following the words of their redemptors, but we are no safer from evil than our neighbors. We are doing nothing to help. I can simply not sit any longer. We were here on a diplomatic mission. When we arrived, we heard rumors of the plague, but I had no idea. This poor child, I had to kill her parents right in front of her to keep them from eating her alive. It breaks my heart to see all these people suffering. I wonder why we Kurzicks afford to simply stand by and watch. Is this what the gods would want us to do, even if the plague never reaches Kurzik lands? Do we not have a duty to help? For generations we have lived protected lives that are stuffy old towers. We don't make a move without months of careful prayer and deliberation. Well, personally, I'm sick of it. The time for careful deliberation have passed, so of course I'll help you. Meet me outside the city gates. Alright, so she's gonna help us because she had a... Jeez, that's like the darkest thing on this one so far. I kind of like it. Makes the plague actually seem like a serious threat. But yeah. Jeez. And these are her pets, Brutus and Sheila. These are super cool. These are root wallas. Stuff native to the Canthan lands. And we'll see whenever we get there, but I think they're also henchmen. One of the main cool things is that they have different henchmen in the different zones, and I'm pretty sure Brutus and Sheila are henchman options, which is always cool whenever there's a henchman option that's not actually like a human, or not even like a humanoid, like actually just some random animal. So, pretty schnifty. But yeah, so the Kurzicks are kind of like gothic inspired, like socialites. And then the Luxons, which are the other main faction, are like nomadic kind of people. I'm not exactly sure what their like design is based off of really, but they're like nomads and stuff. And the Kurzicks are very much gothic inspired. A lot of cool weapons and armor from the two different sides. A lot of cool weapons and armor. A lot of rare weapons and armor too from this campaign. This campaign's got some real spicy items in it. If you were lucky enough to get them back in the day. Command, right? keep on heading out of the city. That's another thing. We're actually leaving the city now for a bit. Factions definitely does a much better job than like Prophecies in terms of like having the world feel like interconnected. Like you actually end up going back a bit more often than the other one. One thing I don't think this game does as well though is we'll see whenever we get there, but I don't think the Kurzicks and Luxon areas are really explored as much as they could be. There's a lot of it that you can miss if you're just following the critical path. And while that's kind of cool to a degree, it's also like, you know, you don't want to miss everything. You don't want to miss cool stuff. I don't know, I mentioned it before in other episodes, but that's like the give and take with game design, is you want to show enough so that people don't miss cool stuff, but you also don't want to show everything so that people like feel like they want to explore and feel like they get rewarded for exploring. It's a delicate balance. Not saying I don't think they necessarily get it right in this game, because you can definitely miss like, I don't know, a very large chunk of the map. Prophecies as well, you can miss a very large chunk of the map. But Nightfall, I feel like, might actually have the other problem, where there's not a lot you can miss. Yeah, here we are. We're making our way out of the city now. This is, I always remember this because this is a zone I've spent a lot of time in doing like chest runs and stuff, trying to get rare weapons and armor from this zone. This area is pretty cool down here with the little field. Some general afflicted. This is probably the coolest zone in the game. Not necessarily because of what's in it, but just because it's kind of a mesh of the three Canthan cultures. And you can kind of get the drops and stuff from all three cultures here. So you have this side of the map, which is like the city side. You know, you still have Ampha, you still have Inflicted. And then you have stuff from like the Jade Sea over here and stuff from the Echovald Forest like over here. It gives you like a little sneak peek into each zone, and I just think that's really cool. Also, these lurkers here, these are pets, but this is a pet I always wanted to use as a kid, but never really used. But he's a little crabby. But yeah, because of that as well, though, this zone is one of the few zones that can actually basically drop all of the different items. So if you kill like stuff up here, you can do, you know, city uniques, Jade, over here is Jade uniques, and over here is Echovald uniques, and like that's kind of cool because it meant that like chest running this area to get rare drops was like an interesting experience because it just had this massive pool of stuff. This dude over here is Anuku Zukaru, the Deceptive. That's the person who gave me my second ever elite skill. Yeah, that was I didn't play Prophecies whenever it came out. I actually didn't start really playing until like Nightfall was already out. Maybe even until Eye of the North was out. But I think it was Nightfall at the time. I don't exactly remember. But I remember my first elite was a ranger skill called Glass Arrows on my ranger, because that was my old main, or that was my main. And my second ever one was on my assassin. It was that dude's skill, which is I believe it's Mobius Strike is that dude's skill. Alright. Redemptor Carl. Carl! I sucked to Danica. I'm glad you came. I wasn't sure you'd actually show up. It's horrible, just horrible. The plague is out of control and the people of Cantha are dying. We need to do something. We need to help. I'm sure there isn't anything we can do that the Emperor isn't already doing, Danica. Certainly we can send food and supplies if they needed, but there is something you do, Redemptor, and I intend to do it. My new friends here have discovered the cause of this plague, and they need the urn of Saint Victor to help contain its spread. I'm going to help them retrieve it. You'll do no such thing, Danica. The plague could easily spread to Kurzicks lands. Perhaps we can use this to our advantage, considering the current state of our cathedral. Master Togo in the Shinjie Monastery believes that Shiro the Betrayer has returned. That this plague is a cause of as the result of his presence. Shiro? No, that's impossible. What if it isn't, Redemptor? Well, these people intend to fight him using the sacred urn of Sir Victor, and I'm going to take them to it. We will return to House Zuhelzer immediately and call a holy council. 24 days with the Redemptors, consider the omens and determine what the gods are trying to tell us. Our ancestors knew what it meant to act, and with their help I intend to act now. Danica. Saint Victor slew Shiro 200 years ago. If he has truly returned, the urn may hold the power to defeat him. Also, considering the protectors of cats and the considerable House Zuhelzer have been unpredictable since the Jadewind. These look like sturdy heroes. If they brave the cathedral and return the urn, they will also be providing a helpful service to our house. This is the right thing to do. It's what the gods want. I just know it. Please don't stand in my way. It seems like there's multiple benefits to you assisting these heroes, Danica. Very well. Besides, I am certain your father would like to see Menlo again. We thought he was dead after what happened. The gods are very wise. I should have seen the signs, but admittedly short-sighted. We shall allow you to retrieve the urn of Saint Victor, and in return you help us with a little problem you held with the House Zuhelzer Cathedral. Of course, we still must discuss all the details with someone of respite. I've heard that Menlo is with you. The Zuhelzer family owes him a great debt of gratitude for something he did for us ages ago. Bring him to House Zuhelzer, and we shall finalize our deal. When you're ready to travel, speak with the lift operator. He will be expecting you. Okay. A lot of words. TLDR, we got permission. One interesting part about this game, or about that dialogue there, which is, I'm not sure if it's intended, but in the dialogue there, she only mentions that Saint Victor killed Shiro back in the day, when it was actually a combined effort of him and the Luxon hero. I think it's Archimedes, Archiles, something like that. Something like that. They're essentially one of them from each side, and Nika. It was or Vizu, sorry, it was a three-way. And all three of them essentially teamed up to beat Shiro. You can actually see that in the faction cinematic, which is pretty cool, actually. And I watched it a couple of days ago just to see how it aged. It actually ages pretty well. It still looks pretty good. So here are the Wardens and the Kirin, or the Stone Kirin. These are like the mobs of the area, and dragon mosses and undergrowth. This is other mobs from like the forest. The forest is very like naturey. There's an elite area themed after each of the two sides. We'll be doing that after the campaign. But yeah, here's some more Kurzicks. Our first kind of look at like what Kurzicks look like. They're kind of pale skinned, black hair, gothic. But yeah, I just found it, I don't know if it was on purpose, but I find it quite interesting that like she ignores the other side helping. Which part of the story is that how, they need to work together to not freaking die. So this is also something they had in the factions. If you see, there's actually a guild symbol on the town. That means that this town is technically owned by this guild. And if you're a member of this guild or their alliance, which alliances are basically just like, you could have 10 guilds, and an alliance is basically just a, collection of guilds. You can actually go in this area here. And there's a couple like advantages here, like you buy fireworks, and this merchant here will do stuff like sell you lockpicks to open chests at a discount and some other stuff. And then there are a couple actually unique rewards for owning either the big towns. But yeah, that's a cool thing that they did for each of the different outposts here. And you see this line here? This line can essentially be pushed back and forth depending on which side has like more people putting faction into it. We'll learn more about faction in a little bit, but essentially whichever side is getting more pumped into it, it pushes back and forth, and like these outposts will change from like being a Kurzicks outpost to a Luxon outpost if it actually pushes far enough. But let's read the description of this one. A safe haven for travelers, Tanglewood Corpse lies nestled between the outer edges of southern Kaining City and the harsh, towering Quinkashi Mountains. According to legend, the first emperor stopped to camp here the night during his inaugural tour of the Echovald Forest. It is now a site of pilgrimage for devotees of traditional Canthan ancestor worship. So yeah, this is going to be our first look at a Kurzicks zone. I'm excited. So essentially, whenever Shiro died, he released something called the Jade Whale, and it essentially is bundled up energy or something. But essentially, it changed the landscapes. So it turned the forest to stone. So this is I absolutely love, if you look up the skybox here and the big trees that are made of stone and stuff. I love this zone. It's got a lot of character. And despite the fact that I do think this area is pretty good, I do have to say I do kind of prefer the Jade Forest the way it looks. It's it might honestly be the single best locale in an MMO ever created. But this is a pretty close second for me. I just love the overhanging trees and the stone. The grass trying to peek its way through and regrow. And the relatively barren landscape, and you kind of see it, but the Kurzicks have also kind of built their towers into the sides of some of these trees. Let's see if I can get a better view of one. You can kind of see this is the big one over there. That's House Zuhelzer, I believe, or Cathedral Zuhelzer, one of those. But there's smaller ones that are actually built into the side of the tree, these big stone trees and stuff like that, and it's really cool. We'll see if we can find one before we end the episode. I think there might be one in the next outpost, so I can show you there. There's a white tiger. Oh, that's another thing. The Echovald Forest and, the Jade Sea being different areas have new unique pets, too. So white tigers are one of the ones that are unique to the Jade Forest. So let's talk to Lift Operator Schultz. Oh, see, there's another one of those beasts up there on the hamster wheel that powers this. That's funny. It's my duty to guard the entrance to Arborstow. If you have proof from the Council of Nobles, I can arrange transport for you. Menlo, we thought you were dead after, Well, never mind that. I'm sure that Count Zuhelzer will be glad to see you. You must be the other ones Redemptor Kai told me would be arriving. Let me know when your party is ready to travel. Alright. Think we should get a little cutscene here. Yeah, look at him go. He's on his little hamster wheel. He's a good boy. Some could say the best boy. The giant mushrooms here, kind of cool too.
I'll do the talking here.
Let me do the talking. Hey, forget about it. I'm a Menlo.
You may rise. It has been a long time since we last met, Brother Menlo.
Indeed, Count Zuhelzer. I'm glad to find you in good health.
I am similarly pleased. But enough with the pleasantries. You have come here with a purpose, have you not?
As always, Count, you are well informed and to the point.
Alright, stop kissing some ass.
Saint Victor.
This is not a small thing that you ask, Brother Menlo. The final resting place of our greatest hero. The man who single-handedly slew Shiro, the betrayer.
See that single?
Why do you ask this of us?
Because, Count, Shiro Takachi has returned.
Dun dun dun!
If what you say is true, then it was indeed very wise for you to come to us.
Then you will give us what we seek?
We wish to help you, but I'm afraid it's not as easy as just handing over the urn.
What is it you require of us?
We require nothing, but St. Victor's remains are ensconced inside Cathedral Zuhelzer.
All right then, we shall go to Cathedral Zuhelzer.
Brother Menlo, many things have changed since you were last here. The cathedral's magical protections have failed. It's been overrun by all manner of terrible beasts. To go there will mean great peril.
I see.
If you still wish to pursue the urn, speak with my daughter, Countess Danica. She can open the doors within the cathedral and help you recover what you seek.
Okie dokie.
Thank you, Count.
Thank you, Count.
Yeah, thanks, Count Chocula.
Godspeed to you.
1, 2, 2 urns. There we go. That's what I was looking for. See those like big, cool windows into the trees? This is like, this is where like the Kurzicks live, in these giant like structures. I would love to go inside one. I think that would be super cool. Here's like a little well. Anyway, let's talk to. Oh wait, have the henchmen changed? No, they haven't. I think it's later. Let's talk to Alkalite Hans. I'm glad you made it here safely. The Zuhelzers are waiting you once you're ready. Okay. Pretty cool. Here's where that's where we came from. I think that's where we're going. Yeah. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed our first foray into the Echovald Forest. We're going to do this mission in the next episode. I want to thank you for coming out, and I hope you have a great day. I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.